The road to becoming an Ironman is not for everyone. It's for those who want their pursuit to mean something. For their efforts to matter. For them, the morning rituals, the weekend training. It's not a sacrifice, it's a calling.
Everybody from first to last place who does an Ironman has a fire within that just needs to be fulfilled.
I have been preparing for this race day for the whole year.
They can imagine the possibilities that lie ahead if they put in the work and believe that they have the strength to keep pushing forward. It is giving your all during a training session and then doing even more the next time. It is a way of life that is attainable to only those who understand that failure is not an option.
No matter how old or young, everybody comes together because they love the sport.
The journey here is such a long process. 12 to 15 hours a week to get my training in. To just see that finish line is just going to mean so much to me.
Captain Tremblay Bureau from 425 Squadron Bagotville, heading into position for the flyby. The start now just moments away. At 6:45 a.m., the professional men will be the first wave to get underway. American Jordan Rapp is the defending champion. He dominated the field in 2015, beating his nearest rival by nearly 20 minutes. However, he is not the only former champion of this race here. Romain Guillaume, the 2012 winner, has returned along with a talented field of Ironman champions. And others like Canadian Stephen Kilshaw searching for their first Ironman title. For the professionals, $100,000 on the line. The race is now in the hands of the starter.
It's like there's noise, and then once the gun goes off, it's like there's this peace and quiet of just race. Once the race is started, I'm just so thankful that we got through the tough part.
With 140.6 miles to cover over 3 disciplines, the challenges have only just begun. The professional women will be next. There is no doubt that American Mary Beth Ellis, the defending women's champion, is the one to beat. She's a 10-time Ironman champion, and she is chasing her 3rd title at Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportia.
I love racing in Canada, and particularly Mont-Tremblant. It's a scenic course, it's a hard course, it's everything I love about Ironman racing. So to win here a 3rd time, I couldn't ask for a better end to the year.
2.4 miles in Lac Tremblant. Close to shore, where it belies what is further out. The waters are rough. The professional men beginning to encounter the swells. It will be an even tougher swim than usual. With the professionals in the water, the starting line now belongs to the amateurs. Male and female. As young as 18, as old as 75. They have come from across Canada, all over the United States, and around the world. 22 countries represented, nearly 2,500 athletes. The hours of training, 6 a.m. swims, the lunch hour runs, the weekends spent on the bike. All the sacrifices are in the past. Now, the chance to become an Ironman. Everyone has a story. The reason for being here. Reyes does this so we will never forget.
My name's Captain Reyes. I'm a member of the Canadian Armed Forces Medical Reserves. I rejoined the Canadian Forces in 2007 expressly to serve the mission in Afghanistan. This was a moral war we were involved in and one that I wanted to do my part in. I became a doctor because, as careers go, it's satisfying on so many levels. There's the emotional satisfaction of reassuring the people who aren't that sick. There's the technical satisfaction of saving people who are going to die right in front of you. And then, you know, at 2 in the morning as an emergency physician, you get the feeling that it's unfortunate that bad things have to happen, both here, at home, and abroad. But if they do, my team and I will take care of you. We'll give you the best shake you can possibly get. I think a doctor in a combat situation is really what's called a force multiplier. We increase people's morale because they know they're going to get well taken care of if they get hurt. I think Canadians should be extremely proud of what we accomplished in Afghanistan. I think what we're involved in here is a generational struggle against a really toxic ideology, this idea that hides inside a particular religion that makes people willing to do absolutely horrific things. And I think eventually we'll look back on Afghanistan the same way we look back on the Mackenzie-Papineau brigades, the people who left Canada and went to fight against the fascists in Spain during the Spanish Civil War. I think that's how we'll look back on it, but it was a very important fight to be a part of. I guess I want to do an Ironman for 2 reasons. The personal reason is that I think those of us who survived the war owe it to ourselves to live the best life we possibly can, to experience everything we can, because we've been shown exactly how brief and fragile life can be, and how quickly it can end. But far more importantly, I want to do it in the way I'm going to do it, to remember the ones who didn't come back. But there's no question that while I'm out on that course, I'll be thinking about a few specific people. Our combat medics, who were, after all, my colleagues, and those members of the combat team that I served with who fell. I owe it to them to never forget them and to do my best to ensure that the country never forgets them either.
Mont-Tremblant, Quebec, Canada. A sporting mecca during all 4 seasons. But in the summer months, this is triathlon country. The 2016 edition of Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium, is brought to you by Subaru, Confidence in Motion, Sportium, and the Government of Quebec. The quickest of the professional men in the water are now heading for their bikes. The second discipline, 112 miles. Australian Paul Matthews out first. However, the 2012 champion, Romain Guillaume of France, is right there as well. American Eric Linkemann gave up second during transition, but he will head out with the leaders in his sights. Canadian Stephen Kilshaw and Australian Paul Ambrose out in 4th and 5th, more than 3 minutes off the pace. Out on the Mont-Tremblant section, Paul Matthews continues to lead. Romain Guillaume matching his every move.
It's a real pleasure to come here after winning Ironman Subaru Canada in 2012. I won both 70.3 and Ironman. I was kind of famous triathlete, and when I came here again in 2013, it was just it was amazing. I had more support than when I raced Ironman Nice in France.
The chase pack now exiting T1. It is a frantic time going from the swim to the bike. At the back of this group, the defending champion, Jordan Rapp.
For me, I want to find my legs, so it's a balance between going hard enough to kind of get your blood flowing down to your legs after swimming, and then but not going so hard that you pay for that at the end.
The professional men in the first hour of an 8+ hour day. The race has really only just begun.
It's not fun when you get kicked in the face in the swim.
However, for American Matt Russell, he may already be out of contention.
All right, I can see a little better.
Quebec's Pierre-Marc Doyon with a great swim. However, few in the world are able to hold off American Jordan Rapp on the bike. But that is exactly what Australia's Paul Matthews and France's Romain Guillaume will try to do. For now, they have the lead Subaru in their sights. American Amanda Stevens is considered one of the sport's best swimmers ever. She has clocked a personal best 45:05. Today, under these conditions and without a wetsuit, 58:38. For the other professional women, the swim continues. However, for Amanda Stevens, she is on her way to the second discipline. Fellow American Mary Beth Ellis finally out as well.
I struggled today in the swim. You know, 72 isn't that cold, but I struggle in cold water. The last 2K just started shivering, and I got a blood blister in my mouth. That just sort of happens whenever I get stressed. It's the first swim ever that I was actually contemplating raising my arm and getting rescued by a kayak.
Ellis more than an hour in the swim. But the biggest concern, the 10-time Ironman champion, more than 2 minutes back.
Coming out of the water, I had no idea how big of a gap I had, and so it wasn't until I saw the first time checks that I had a couple minutes on her. So I was surprised at that. But I've been dealing with an injury, so I've been spending lots and lots of time in the pool. So I think just that and already being a very talented swimmer just enabled me to have a great swim today.
A 7-minute spread between the top 6 women. It is a time gap you just do not expect to see after the first discipline. Laurel Wasner will head out third, followed closely by Canadian Carolyn St. Pierre, Jessica Jones, and Amanda Wendorf. The professional women chasing American Amanda Stevens here at Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium. Welcome back to Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium. Many of the amateurs still working away in Lac Tremblant, finishing up the 2.4-mile swim, while others are now turning their thoughts to the second of 3 disciplines, the 112-mile bike, the next obstacle to overcome on the way to becoming an Ironman. Out on Route 117, the professional men. Romain Guillaume taking a turn in front, Paul Matthews in second. The pair have been working together, trying to hold off the expected charge from last year's champion. Jordan Rapp now fourth. All 3 men have 2 objectives: to win, but also to secure one of the few remaining qualifying spots to the Ironman World Championship. It all rests on this final race.
Basically, I need to finish first or second to be essentially guaranteed a spot.
Of course, my main objective in Mont-Tremblant is winning the race, but also it will be very important to validate my Kona slot. For this, I need to, I think, top 3. Third place will be okay, just limit, I think, and top 2 will be sure. If everything goes well, I will qualify for Hawaii.
Paul Matthews would qualify for Kona with a top 5 placing. Between the 3 men, American Eric Lincoln is third. He is losing time to the front, and he has been tracked down by his countryman, Jordan Rapp, once again moving up in position. Further back, but still in contention, the chase pack, led by Canadian Stephen Kilshaw. All the while, clouds continue to build. Rain is coming, yet another factor for everyone to deal with. Changes in the women's race. Amber Ferreira with a pass on Canadian Carolyn St. Pierre. The American women have moved into the top 4 positions. Laurel Wasner continues to hold down third. In second, Mary Beth Ellis. It was expected she would be leading by now. But she struggled in the water and continues to struggle on the bike.
The bike was tough the first 30K. I wasn't making up any time, and I think just from being so cold, my muscles were just not really working. It was just survival out there that first 30K.
And now the rain has begun. American Amanda Stevens continues to lead for the professional women. It has been a long journey back for the triathlete from Enid, Oklahoma.
Probably about 2 years ago now, I hit rock bottom. I was tanked out, I was overtrained. Everything was empty. I mean, spiritually, mentally, physically, you name it. Like, I just had nothing left, and I had a pretty bad injury and saw a couple specialists, and they thought it was career ending.
This will be Dr. Amanda Stevens' last year as a full-time triathlete, as the 39-year-old moves into being a full-time medical doctor. Bad news for Stevens and the other professional women. Mary Beth Ellis has warmed up on the bike. And with this pass on Stevens, the defending champion is now the leader. Romain Guillaume has finally been able to drop Paul Matthews. He is now alone out front. Matthews with concerns behind as well. Jordan Rapp is closing in. As the rain continues to pound down, Rapp has concerns of his own.
I have not a super history in the rain. I'm definitely like way more nervous in the rain since my accident. When I raced in Monterrey, Mexico, a half, like I sort of had like a nervous breakdown in the rain there because they have cobblestones, which are like super slick in the rain, just like total panic mode, had to drop out.
In 2010, during a training session on the bike, Rapp was the victim of a hit-and-run car accident. He suffered numerous broken bones and a severed jugular that nearly cost him his life. He has won 4 Ironman championships since that accident, bringing his career total to 6. Further back, the chase group: Leiferman, Bagg, Kilshaw, Linkeman. They have been exchanging positions throughout this discipline, pushing each other, trying to stay close enough during the bike to attack on the run.
The biggest thing is focusing on just do your job. And at every moment you've got a job to do. Make sure you're drinking, make sure you're eating, and that way I don't panic about anything. Just do your job.
At about the halfway point of this race, the Canadian's still well in contention for the win. Jordan Rapp has been relentless in his pursuit. He has tracked down Paul Matthews, the champion from a year ago with just one man left to catch. The champion from 2012, Romain Guillaume. American Mary Beth Ellis has opened up her lead. Her earlier struggles seem to be behind her. Now she is the one the other women must catch.
I love racing with a target on my back. It means I'm in the lead, which is always a good spot to be. And it's tough at times. I've definitely come off the bike with a big lead and watched it evaporate pretty quickly. So it's just, for me, it's about putting together my best swim, bike, and run and getting to that finish line as fast as I can.
Behind Ellis, a 3-way battle for second. American Laurel Wasner, the latest to occupy that position. Next, the former leader, Amanda Stevens, and Amber Ferreira. Ferreira with a move as she takes third. Ferreira had a crash at Ironman Lake Placid 4 weeks earlier. She escaped without any broken bones, but it hindered her preparations.
Sometimes an imperfect build is okay. I've had some perfect builds that I think lead to perfect races, and they don't, so I'm just gonna go for it.
Ferreira with a pass on Laurel Wasner as she takes over second. the position she finished in at the 2013 race. Amanda Stevens quick to react as she also goes by Wasner, and then past Ferreira as well, as she moves back into second. No one willing to show any sign of weakness as the women's battle continues to heat up here at Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium. The last of the athletes are making their way to the bike. 112 miles. And then there is still a marathon. There is a reason Ironman is often referred to as the world's toughest single-day endurance event. It is a journey that you cannot go into unprepared.
I need one every 22 minutes.
Oh yeah, why? Is this one in?
Yeah, part of my program.
Yet every race is unique. The weather always a contributor to the challenges the athletes must overcome. The 2016 edition of Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium, is brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion, Sportium, and by the city of Mont-Tremblant. Romain Guillaume of France has led nearly the entire ride. Jordan Rapp has worked his way up into second place. But the deficit to the leader is almost identical to what it was after the swim, 3.5 minutes. It is setting up a showdown on the run between the two champions of Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant.
Since 2015 and the beginning of this year, I was overtrained with all the physiological and psychological bad aspect. I was kind of depressed and I was not really happy. And then I changed of coach and I changed of training method, and everybody around me were supporting me. So it helped me a lot to be better. And now I'm very pleased to be back here and trying to first to qualify for Hawaii is still my objective, and also try to have the victory. It's always my objective when it's possible, and this will be super difficult, but I believe in my capacity. So
it's nice to be here and have the chance to come out as the defending champion and to show that respect for the course and the effort that they put into putting on a great race here. I don't feel like this is sort of a last-ditch effort to get to Kona. I feel like I'm here to race and defend my title.
Romain Guillaume has completed the bike. The final discipline remains, a marathon. 26.2 miles standing between him and a second title. Jordan Rapp will end the bike 3.5 minutes back. Last year he had a commanding lead at this stage, but not this year. In third, Australian Paul Matthews, just over 3 minutes back of Rapp. The cycling cleats will give way to running shoes. Jordan Rapp is very good at both. Matthews 7:18 back of the leader, 3:27 out of second. Guillaume working away, trying to find his rhythm on the run. He is solid on this discipline. But historically, Rapp has the edge between the two men on the marathon. American Chris Leiferman and Canadian Stephen Kilshaw getting ready to hit the marathon 4th and 5th. Leiferman with a quicker transition. Kilshaw seemingly unfazed. There are still about 3 hours remaining in the professional men's race. For the amateurs, they could still be out there for another 12 hours. Everyone has up to 17 hours to complete the 140.6 miles of swimming, biking, and running. Do that, and for the rest of your life, you are an Ironman. As the celebration of the 5th anniversary of Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium, continues, so does the rain. But it certainly has not dampened the Ironman spirit. Pierre Lavoie is one of nearly 2,500 triathletes out here. He has competed in numerous Ironman races. In fact, the 53-year-old was a former professional. Now, though, he does this to remember his daughter Lori and son Raphael, who he lost to a rare hereditary illness nearly 20 years ago.
The life of Pierre is amazing. He lived two big tragedies, losing two kids with orphan disease.
J'ai pris mon vélo, j'ai organisé un événement qui s'appelait le défi Pierre Lavoie, qui était de faire le tour de ma région pour amasser des fonds, pour faire avancer la recherche. Et même si on perdait nos enfants à travers, on ne baissait pas les bras. J'avais appris en faisant des Ironman que l'important, c'est peu importe ce qui arrive, on continue. Et tout ça allait bien servir la maladie parce qu'on finira par découvrir le gène. On finira ensuite aussi par faire le dépistage génétique de ma population pour éviter la maladie maintenant chez les nouveaux couples. Ça allait permettre aussi à essayer de trouver une médication pour les enfants qui étaient atteints. Et tout ça allait être vraiment la genèse du grand défi Pierre Lavoie. Et quand j'ai ouvert l'événement à travers le Québec, on a juste appelé maintenant le grand défi Pierre Lavoie, axé sur les saines habitudes de vie. Aujourd'hui, quand je regarde tout ce qu'il y a derrière moi, c'est l'héritage de Laurie et Raphaël. C'est grâce à eux, là, si on a pu créer un grand mouvement sans eux, j'aurais jamais pris mon vélo pour faire le tour de ma région, j'aurais jamais créé de grands défis, je me serais jamais investi dans la recherche. Donc, c'est la preuve qu'on peut transformer quelque chose d'extrêmement négatif en positif. Hein? Puis c'est un peu l'esprit du Ironman.
From one man's sorrow, a province has been inspired. Mary Beth Ellis had a 10-minute advantage to start the run a year ago. It was close at the end, but she held on for her second title here. This time, it is an even bigger lead. However, with more than 3 hours of racing remaining, a lot can change during the final discipline.
I struggled out there today, and I think part of it is just getting so cold in the swim. I got off the bike and I just felt trash. And I knew it was going to be one of those runs that you just, I was just trying to play defense. I knew I had a decent lead, and I didn't care if I won by 10 minutes or 1 second. I just wanted to try to get the win.
Laura Wasner will be the first to take up pursuit. She finds herself 13 minutes back.
My goals for this race are to just have a solid swim, bike, and run. And if I do that to the best of my ability, I think I can have a great race and land on the podium. You really can't predict what's going to happen with the weather and your competitors, but if you can just control yourself. I know I've trained to be world-class in swimming, biking, and running, and if I can just do all of that on race day, I think I can have a good result.
It is clearly Ellis's race to win. With 10 Ironman titles, she has the resume, the experience. Now it's time to execute. Back at the transition area, Proof of how quickly things can change at an Ironman. This is Amanda Wendorf. The question is, what happened to Stevens and Ferreira? Amanda Stevens finally completing the 112-mile bike. 18 minutes behind the leader, but just a minute back of the final podium position. Well up the road, Ellis working away. So far, so good. But it is the second half of the run where she has sometimes had issues.
I've struggled in Kona the last few years. I've come off the bike in second or third, and then on the second half of that run, just been walking, throwing myself in the ice bucket. It's been a real struggle for me.
Laurel Wassner already chipping away, but it is seconds she is gaining. She will need to start taking back minutes if she is to catch the women's leader. The amateurs beginning to move into the final discipline, the marathon. 26.2 miles. As is always the case at an Ironman, there are those that have already withdrawn. Others that will fall short on the run. But ask any of them, and they will tell you the same thing. If it was easy, it would not compel them to try, and so they push on.
It's a difficult decision to make, but I will just again.
When Pierre Lavoie lost his second child to a rare hereditary illness in 1998, 10 other children were born with lactic acidosis in Quebec's Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean region. Lavoie devoted himself to raising awareness and to funding medical research, and so he pushes on. Captain Reyes of the Canadian Armed Forces was shot in the leg while serving his country. He will never run. Yet he will never stop in his efforts to pay tribute to his fallen comrades. And so he pushes on.
I was working as an unarmed battlefield medic, and at one point during a fight, a bullet struck me on the inside of my left knee. Found out only 15 years later that there was still a piece of it in there. And over the past 5 years, it got to the point where I can no longer run.
So, tell me, how was your day? The bike went well. Yeah, beat my goal time by quite a bit. And so far, the game plan is holding. The knee's gone numb, so it doesn't hurt anymore. And tell me about the weather today. Not easy. Army weather. Perfect.
He still has the lead, but it is plain to see Romain Guillaume is in trouble. A 3:40 lead to begin the run is quickly disappearing. The defending champion, Jordan Rapp, is closing in.
I was pretty optimistic. I'm running well. You know, I'm gonna catch him. Like, I knew that I had not as big a lead as I would have liked on the group behind, but I was like pretty solid. You know, I felt like I rode hard. I didn't expect anybody to come out and run super quick.
While some athletes' approach is to just focus on their race, Rapp's is not. He studies his competitors, and his approach to race day is calculated in every way. But those behind him have plans of their own. Paul Matthews has begun to take back time from both men he's chasing. And further back, Canadian Stephen Kilshaw and American Chris Leiferman are working together, gaining on everyone. Jordan Rapp has been chasing all day. Now he has first place in sight. For the first time, the American has the lead. And the hunter becomes the hunted. Matthews continues to slowly cut into Rapp's lead. Leiferman and Kilshaw are coming even quicker. For Guillaume, the lead is gone, and it appears only a matter of time before others track him down as well. American Laurel Wassner has cut her deficit to single digits, but her gains are just not coming quick enough. Her countrywoman, Mary Beth Ellis, considered quitting during the swim, had challenges getting going on the bike, and started the run feeling exhausted. But there is a reason she is considered one of the sport's most tenacious. She never stops fighting.
This is the honey badger on my kit. My coach gave me that nickname, the honey badger, after a swim set when I went a little bit aggressive on a teammate and flip turned on him. I was in the middle of a time trial and he's standing at the end of the lane. But it really just, it epitomizes the way I race and train. It's go from the gun, relentless determination, and trying to get the best out of myself every day, every session.
First and second look to be locked up. However, third is up for grabs. Amanda Wendorf and Amber Ferreira have been in a battle the entire run. Ferreira, the latest to occupy third. But behind both women, Jessica Jones is closing quickly. 7 minutes. That was Paul Matthews' deficit to the former leader to start the run. That is now all gone as the Australian takes over second. Romain Guillaume came from France to Canada with 2 goals. To once again be the champion and to qualify for the Ironman World Championship. Neither looks attainable now. Chris Leiferman and Stephen Kilshaw dropping Guillaume back into 5th and out of a position to qualify for Kona. Jordan Rapp knows they are coming.
Some of those guys in there that I was like, I know this is too hard because like I've seen them do it before at other races.
Rapp is expecting them to slow down. Yet Chris Leiferman in particular is not. He raced here earlier in the year on this course, where he finished 3rd at the 70.3. But this is double the distance, and it's his first Ironman. Canadian Stephen Kilshaw either chose to or had to let him go. He took the lead early into the marathon. Jordan Rapp continues to hold first. However, the defending champion is being tracked down. Chris Leiferman has been relentless in his pursuit. Paul Matthews, his latest victim. There is only one man left to catch. It is a pair of Americans, Jordan Rapp, the veteran, Chris Leiferman, the Ironman rookie. A championship will be decided by these 2 men. For Romain Guillaume, everything has come unraveled.
Good.
Chris Leiferman, with the composure of a veteran, he has chased down the 6-time Ironman champion. And now, he is the leader. It has been the same leader in the women's race almost the entire day. Mary Beth Ellis took the lead on the bike and has never really been challenged since. Laurel Wasner on pace for the fastest woman's time on the marathon. However, she is still more than 7 minutes back. As an adult, he taught himself how to swim using YouTube videos. From that to this. Your 2016 Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant champion, Chris Leiferman. A marathon course record of 2:45:10, smashing the old mark by 7 minutes. An unbelievable Ironman debut for the Minnesota native. Jordan Rapp with a great race as he crosses the line in 2nd. It will earn him enough points to qualify for the Ironman World Championship in Hawaii. Canadian Stephen Kilshaw with his first ever Ironman podium as he takes third. American Chris Leiferman with the win in a time of 8 hours, 24 minutes, 59 seconds, followed by Rapp, Kilshaw, Paul Matthews, and Paul Ambrose. Mary Beth Ellis has lived up to the expectations as she will take her 11th Ironman title and her third win on this course. Ellis is the 2016 Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant champion. Laurel Wasner with the best Ironman performance of her career as she takes second. Jessica Jones was so far back to start the run, but she just kept moving up. Jones takes third. Mary Beth Ellis with the win, followed by Wasner, Jones, Amber Ferreira, and Amanda Wendorf in fifth. The quickest of the amateurs are beginning to make their way over the Ironman finish line. Quebec's Pierre Lavoie is on the final stretch of this journey, remembering the past, enriching the lives of children across the province. This just another step towards that ongoing goal. For others, there are still hours to go, miles to cover, before they will know if they will be able to make it through in time. Dr. Reyes knew that it would be night before he crossed the finish line. A bullet in the knee while serving in the Canadian Armed Forces means he has to walk the 26.2 miles. The swim and bike exceeded his expectations. He is ahead of schedule, but he knows he has to keep moving to beat the midnight cutoff. The 2016 edition of Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium, is brought to you by Subaru, confidence in motion. Tremblant, take me to the top, and the Government of Canada. Welcome back to Subaru Ironman Mont-Tremblant, presented by Sportium. The sun is out, but not for long. Ray West will do the marathon in the uniform that is such a big part of who he is and why he comes to do an Ironman.
I want to do it in the way I'm going to do it, to remember the ones who didn't come back. Because it's really to them that I owe it. And I owe it to them to never forget them and to do my best to ensure that the country never forgets them either.
The remaining hours. This is the time of the amateurs. First-timers, veterans, young and young of heart. Natalie Graybo is the oldest woman here. She did not even take up the sport until she was almost 60. That was 12 years ago. Yet the passion burns as bright as ever.
I'm still doing it because I love it. And I think, especially for women my age who grew up in a time where we didn't have sports, it's hard to remember back in those days when women, girls didn't have a sport like my daughters and grandchildren have the opportunity to do now. I think you're either born with a very competitive spirit or not. I'm a real competitive person and I love competing. So I'll stay out there as long as I can.
For Graybo, and all those still out there, the time to complete this race continues to tick away. No matter your age, it is all the same. You have 17 hours. Come midnight, this race is officially over. And so those here from around the world continue to push on. to see if they can get back to the lights, to the finish line, and to the voice of Ironman, Mike Riley. Everyone has endured on this day, some perhaps more than others. Reyes had no choice but to walk the entire marathon, but he has endured so much to be here. Now he can hear Mike. He can hear them all. This is a day you will never forget. Perhaps no event proves more definitively that age is just a number. Natalie Grabo is 71.
I love the spirit. No matter how old or young, everybody comes together because they love the sport, they love challenging themselves, they love being a better person, meeting that challenge on race day. That transcends all ages.
John Ragg has crossed an Ironman finish line more than 200 times. Some things never get old. As midnight, the official cutoff to an Ironman draws near. The race's youngest competitor is on the final stretch.
I just want him to say I'm an Ironman. I really want to hear him say that because it means a lot to me. It's a dream of mine, and so to complete it would just be so amazing.
One year until they do it all again. Time to start training.
I only got one more thing to say. You